My friend, Raz is happy to see you, but surprised you didn't help me with these creatures. Not that Raz needed any help. You must tell me what brought you to Summerset after you agreed to assist Raz with his usual cloak and dagger business. Ominous. No more than usual, my friend. But there's work for the Queen's Eye, and this one could use an extra blade if you're willing. Queen Irene issued a decree to open the borders of Summerset and allow outsiders to have access to the island. That's what Raz said, but rumors reached the Queen. So this one made the journey and was immediately attacked by strange creatures. Raz doesn't think the two are related, but if you could ask some questions, check on the newcomers, that would help. While you ask questions around the city, Raz can take care of some other business. It may or may not involve scratching and clawing. Let's meet near the entrance to Shimmerin when you have something to report. Raz never saw such monsters in his life. They appear related to water, but this one tends to avoid this stuff. That pearl, though, Raz swears it was calling those creatures. A mystery for another time, perhaps. Now, we need to see to the newcomers. As a matter of fact, Raz made a list. Old Newell, a high elf artisan, spoke out. See what she complained about. Then there's Soxolza, a persecuted Argonian newcomer. Finally, Ranul, a city resident noted in the Divine Prosecution's observation log. Something to do with monks and newcomer registration. Raz is looking into that. Last I heard, Soxolza was seen leaving the city and heading west. Probably trying to reach the water. Lizards like water, yes? Not Raz. Ugh. Raz hates the wet stuff. Nothing at all. Unless you think they came to Summerset because of the Queen's decree. No, that would be ridiculous. Let's not lose focus. Just see what Old Newell, Soxolza, and Ranul have to say about newcomers and the mood in Shimmerin. We need to confirm these rumors or else put an end to them. Everyone should be pleased with the Queen's decree. Opening the border shows progress, yes? However, if any of her loyal subjects reject progress, well, Raz needs to know that too. While you ask questions around the city, Raz can take care of some other business. It may or may not involve scratching and clawing. Let's meet near the entrance to Shimmerin when you have something to report.
Not that you'd understand the concept, but the path to Alaxon requires dedication and complete concentration. I must find the perfect shells, or my pigments will be substandard. And do you know what that will do to my art? Exactly. An ultimate concept practiced widely here in Summerset. Alaxon is the state of perfection that every high elf strives for. The path to Alaxon represents the approach we take to achieve that state. Now, why have you interrupted my work? I believe in caution as much as the next high elf, but sometimes the rules get in the way of common sense. My apprentice lived here for more than a year. Good help is so hard to find, especially among the newcomers, and she was adept at making dyes. They took her away. Said they had to scrutinize her qualifications, test her knowledge of culture and etiquette. But I haven't seen her since. My work suffers, So of course I complained to the monks. Now I have to gather my own shells. They told me I could fill out some forms and appeal to the kin lady. But who has time for such bureaucracy? And for a wood elf? I've said too much. I have work to do, and all this aggravation has diverted my path to Alaxon. Perfection requires constant vigilance, so back to it.
Seeking a sip of fine Russifeld red? Prepare for disappointment. Headed to the famed Russifeld winery, traveler? Well then, it seems I'm not the only one who'll be disappointed today. Old Hallimorian's been offed by those wood elves. Won't be any wine tastings for a while, I'd wager. Just what I heard from one of the bailiffs. Apparently, some daffy Bosmer called the Ghost of the Green did it, but no one knows for sure. The investigation's hit a snag. Something about the rule of three. Superstitious nonsense, if you ask me. Indeed. Until they find a suitable third investigator, the Juris Reeves and Revelators are left to sit on their hands. Nonsense. Why not go lend them a hand? They'll likely just tell you to go jump into the sea, but it can't hurt to ask.
Examiner's quorum needs 3 members. You both know this.
Not this again.
It's not just superstition, Sorcerer. We need outside perspective.
So, what? We just randomly recruit the next adventurer that passes by?
And just like that, Oriel provides. Greetings, Caraval. I am Chief Juris Reeve Tarnamir of the Divine Prosecution. Or at least I was, in the long ago. I know this is unorthodox, but perhaps you'd be interested in helping us. As you can see, a murder took place here. My protégés, Lorne and Sorcerer, came to investigate, but I fear they may lack perspective. The particulars of this murder... Forgive me, I'm getting ahead of myself. They need fresh eyes. Yours, I believe. You would take on the duties of the Adminan, the listening eye. An auspicious role. The Adminan serves as the fulcrum, balancing competing theories. They also collect evidence, interview suspects and the like. What do you say? I thank the divines that you've agreed to help. This murder weighs heavy on all of us. The victim, Halimorian, was not well liked. Many locals may lift a glass to his passing. But the assassin, the Ghost of the Green, that's altogether different. Better to ask Lorne about it. Capturing the Ghost was her obsession for a time. The fact that he's returned does not sit well with her. I can say no more. I don't want to prejudice your impressions. The Adminan should bring a fresh perspective. As I said, was the Chief Inquisitor for the Divine Prosecution's Hindolatus Wing, the division charged with solving doctrinal crimes. Forgive me, it's a mouthful for newcomers, I know. I retired here to Russefeld a few decades ago. Well, I own the land, so in some ways I have even greater authority than I did as Chief Inquisitor. I still enjoy a bit of clout, too. Real leadership doesn't rely on titles, Kerem. Not a popular opinion here in Summerset, but true nonetheless. Ha! Fair, I suppose. I may be retired, but I've spent the better part of 3 centuries examining crime scenes and interrogating criminals. When it comes to reading people, I am more than proficient. Let me guess. Thieves' Guild? Or is it Dark Brotherhood? I won't pretend that bringing a criminal into this business sets my heart at ease, but you're no common hood. You're a professional. Who better to investigate a crime than a criminal?
So you'll be joining us. Good. Call me Lorne. No need for flowery titles. We Altmer have too many names already. I'm glad you're here. Outsiders often make the best adminins. A fresh pair of eyes will be essential here. More essential than usual. It's a long and depressing story. One I'm not keen to recount. For now, just know that whoever murdered Halimorian took great pains to make it look like the work of the Ghost of the Green. A killer that Sorcerer and I apprehended decades ago. The Ghost always left a signature to let us know it was him. He killed each victim with a single wood elf arrow to the heart, then laid a thorn over the body. The thorn is here, but the shot was sloppy, and the arrow is of high elven make. It's odd. I need to examine the body in more detail. Can you do a sweep of the vineyard? If you find anything, blow this whistle. It also might be worth questioning people in town. They'll be more forthcoming with an outsider.
You have your instructions, yes? I can't imagine any of them involve talking to me. There was a time when I could tell you practically everything. We worked together for years, but, well, not every partnership is eternal. Just know that she's brilliant. The most proficient investigator in Summerset, truth be told. I am a Revelator Naganwe, a Death Seer. I use magic to solve murders. It's one of the essential roles in an investigative quorum. Of course, magic often falls short. When my fellow Revelators and I can't conjure up a suspect, we'd turn to Lorne. She prefers wit to mysticism. All high elves possess near-perfect memory, but Lorne puts us all to shame. She can recall tiny details in an instant and finds patterns even quicker. It's too bad, if you ask me. We all have things we'd rather forget.
It really is too bad about Halamorian. I told him he shouldn't be so free with his politics. It's a different climate now, after all. You have to watch what you say around people. On the upside, it's good to be rid of a rival vintner. Oh, darling, you're a bit late to the party if that's why you're here. I already submitted my statement to the Revelators, and my alibi is thrice confirmed. To be honest, the only reason I'm still here is to find one of my servant girls. Yes, a charming young wood elf named Farrell. I only recently brought her on. She used to work for the late Halamorian, but there was some kind of incident. I don't know the details. According to my other servant girl, she often came back here to visit the friends she left behind. She'd attend Bosmer suppers, midday revels in the grape fields, that sort of thing. I encourage my girls to take time for themselves, within reason. Aren't you a cherry blossom? That would be lovely. Take care, Karen.
Sorry, I didn't really see what happened, so I don't think I can help you. I'm Mistress Philanwe's lady-in-waiting. I see to her needs at all hours, day or night. She has done me a great honor in allowing me to serve her, despite, well, you know. Oh, just that. The honor of lady-in-waiting is usually reserved for other high elves. Mistress Philanwe doesn't seem to mind, though. She likes to keep me motivated by reminding me how insignificant I am and how unsuited to this role my people are.
It really is too bad about Halamorian.
Ah! You come to babble with Babblebrook? When came the killers? I had a look. Babblebrook knows what Babblebrook sings. Why can't you make sense of things? A ghost did bring the vintner's end, but even wraiths can have a friend. Don't you see? Death comes in twos. Friends and killers both win and lose. Killers and killed are two. It's true. So near, the source of fear. But Babblebrook babbles too long, it seems. Best make haste, or we'll hear more screams. I'm not paid to talk. Find conversation somewhere else.
What do you want? The Revelators already questioned me and cut me loose. I just want to be here if something exciting happens. You don't? The Ghost of the Green has returned. Zen's avenging champion. Of course it's exciting. These Longlegs thought they executed him years ago, but now he's back, ready to dole out Deepwood justice. New around here, eh? Halamorian was a sap-ass dandy, slapping wood elves with one hand and groping them with the other. The Ghost of the Green just did what the prosecution wouldn't. Good riddance. Murdered? No. Executed. Executed by a righteous hand. Just have a look around, outsider. I'll bet my horns you'll find evidence of misdeeds. This was a long time coming. Hopefully it put these other long-legged prigs on notice.
Another body. Delightful.
Oh dear. Blood on her hands and blouse. But no slashing wounds. This doesn't fit the pattern. The ghost always kills with a bow. This was spur of the moment. Unexpected. Maybe she fought back.
Why do you insist on puzzling these things over like an femme? You know the death memory ritual. It's a simple...
Enough, Sorcerer. You know that's forbidden. Admin, look around and see if you can find the source of this blood.
Go have a look around. I doubt you'll find anything, but there's no harm in trying.
You found something? So did I. It looks like Fariel was strangled, not stabbed. This blood must be the attacker's. A sickle? Blood on the blade. She must have used it to defend herself. Then the attacker hid it. This blood could be the key. I intend to, yes. I'm a fair hand at alchemy. You'd be surprised how useful it can be in my line of work. I've caught more killers with flasks and alembics than I have with any sword. My husband used to say Sorry. I suppose it's past time I told you. The ghost murdered 17 people before we caught him. His last victim was my husband. Sorcerer's wife committed suicide when she heard the news. They were having an affair, you see. It was a difficult time. It's fine, I just... Now you see why we needed a neutral party. Enough. Let's get back on task. I'd like you to search Halamorian's villa. It's just southwest of here. He was unpopular. If we can find out why, we might be able to establish motive. Sorry, I don't mean to be checking up on you. I just think better when I walk. And the blood is still simmering in the alembic. It will be some time before I have the results. Did you find anything of use in Halamorian's villa? From what I hear, the accusations are almost certainly true. So, Halamorian was making unwanted advances. Of course. The original ghost murder spree started with a high elf farmer who took liberties with his Bosmer laborers. We never published the details of that investigation. It can't be a coincidence. This new ghost must be someone in the know. Someone close. None that I'm keen to share, not yet anyway. For now, let's go with what we know. The Wood Elves have motive. Sorcerer went down to the cottage east of here to look around. Meet him there, and see if you can shake anything loose. I have to think.
Joy to unleash our revelators on your new home, but I'll have to unless you let us take a look around.
Fine. We're just one of you, your partner. Do your work, then leave us in peace.
One, then. I'll be sure to report your compliance to the divine prosecution.
Like we have a choice in the matter. Come, join me for a meal. Meat's fresh enough.
Delightful. I suppose I'll stay here to break bread with the chief while you have a look around. Not the way I wanted things to go, but we will simply have to adapt. Did she? I must admit, I'm surprised. Lorne never talks about that ordeal. Certainly not with me, anyway. My. Are you an adminin or a confessor? Tarnamir is quite right. After all that happened, we had a difficult time getting back into a routine. I tried to keep things professional, healthy, but she was just lost. She never fully recovered. Tarnamir. When the Ghost of the Green returned, Tarnamir naturally called on the two people best suited to catch him. It was awkward at first, but we've managed. I suppose I have you to thank for that. In part, at least. Not regularly, no. We High Elves have acute memories, but I find that if you stay busy enough, you don't have time to reminisce. So much the better. Ah, yes. I hadn't even thought of that. A corrupt High Elf merchant and an abused Wood Elf girl. There are certainly similarities. I find everything suspicious. Whoever this killer is, they've obviously acquainted themselves with the ghost's history and methods. We kept most of those details secret, but unscrupulous revelators routinely sell those details to enthusiasts. Honestly, I think this is the work of a deranged and obsessive mind. One of these Wood Elves read about the Ghost of the Green, saw an opportunity for cultural glory, for immortality, and seized it. Even so, Lorne and I have to be sure. Anything at all that could link this clan, or one of its members, to the murders of Halamorian or Fariel. none of these wood elves held Halimorian in high regard. We just need to find out if that enmity led to murder. Operate under the assumption that the killer was here, or still could be. Question everything you see and hear, and look out for any overt or subtle references to the Ghost of the Green.
Who are you? Are you with the Divine Prosecution? My husband warned me you might come poking round. Halimorian hated us. He abused our children and tried to drive us off. Caused the High Elves would suspect us. And our son Kellan, he... Never mind, please just go. We don't want any trouble. We just want to live here in peace. You really just want to keep him safe? Well, I'm not supposed to say this, but Kellan has been going on about the Ghost of the Green for weeks now. You know boys and their masked heroes. I didn't think there was any harm in it. But now... No, of course not. He's a good boy. I only mean that it could look suspicious because of his interest in those old legends. Besides, didn't the Ghost of the Green run around in a mad hunter's costume? Where would my son get something like that? Yes, I'm sure. Look, you're free to look around. Just try to... We're simple men, we don't have much. Halimorian may have been a cruel bigot, but none of us would ever murder him for it, I swear.
You're not as sly as you think.
I've said enough already. If you're finished here, please, just leave us in peace. And if you see my boy, tell him to come home.
Bosmer cuisine is truly revolting. I bought us as much time as I could. I hope you found something useful. A shrine? There's an old shrine to Ifre west of here, the Red Temple. But from what Tarnamir told me, people rarely visit. Filled with wild animals or some such. I only know of one entrance, a cave nearby. Follow me. We should split up. Don't want this little scamp slipping out behind us. I can handle this gap easily. You search the other hall.
Wait! I did everything you asked. I just can't anymore. I'm not a killer. I only wanted to protect Farrell.
We could have worked such terrible wonders together. Pathetic. You, though, you're perfect. Tell Lorne her past is hunting her present. Yes, tell her that.
What's happening? Am I... The ghost recruited me. Said he needed me. He gave me the costume. Told me to kill as he would. Alamorian hated us. Was going to kill us. I know it. After what he did to Farrell. Farrell is dead. Oh, Divines. You've cursed me, haven't you? I only shot Alamorian, I swear it. Farrell was so kind. I wanted Alamorian to pay. I thought the Ghost of the Green was a hero. I wanted people to see me that way. Never saw his face. He never said his name. I didn't need to know. I'd read the stories. I believed in him, and he saw something in me. I never... Mother... I'm sorry.
I was too slow. Damned Mer slipped right past me. Tall for a wood elf, and quick as a spooked hare. So, it really is the Chief's son. Wait, what? What do you mean, another Ghost of the Green? The journal you showed me... Did Kellan kill Alamorian or not? What about the Wood Elf girl, Fariel? Did he kill her too? Yes. Show her the arrow immediately. Perhaps she can compare Kellan's blood to the blood on Fariel's sickle. At the very least, we'll be able to determine if Kellan killed Fariel. I'll be along as soon as I'm able.
You're back. And not a moment too soon. Do you have something for me? A second ghost. I suspected as much. And he killed this Kellan with that arrow. Another High Elf hunting arrow, like the one that killed Halamorian. Kellan had motive. This second ghost provided the costume, the weaponry. But why? So, this isn't about Halamorian. It isn't about the Wood Elves or Altmer prejudiced. It's about me. It's always been about me. I knew it. I knew this was too convenient. I also knew the Mer who killed Faril couldn't be this Kellan. I just finished experimenting on the blood from Faril's sickle. It was Altmer blood. This second ghost isn't some wood elf zealot. He's a high elf like me. I moved the bodies to Tarnamir's manor. We should... maybe we missed something. This place has been... What happened here? Oh no. No. Tarnamir? Tarnamir, are you here? Tarnamir? No. I can't... Just give me a moment. I need to process this. Have to keep a clear head. You found something? This is a message. Everything in this room. It's all meant to tell us something. What's that on the wall? Elevane is another name for the Helus owl. Elevanes lay their eggs, then abandon them. We use that word to describe people who are cold-hearted or aloof. And then there's the bodies. Arranged to mimic Mara's cross. This is about love. Intimacy. Or more likely, someone I failed to love. There's only one suspect left. A Mer with means, motive, and deep understanding of the Ghost of the Green. No! It can't be! The Ghost of the Green ruined Sorville's life, just as he ruined mine. If not for the ghost, Sorville's wife would likely still be alive. I have to know. I'm sorry for what you're about to see. Auriel, forgive me. Stand back, and I'll show you. You already saw how Kellan died. Now, we'll see the others.
What's this? A tiny ghost of a queen? Ha! Run along, well, before...
What have I done?
Kellan definitely killed Halamorian. Now, Faril.
Who are you?
I'm afraid you've seen too much. You poor thing.
Sorville was observing Kellan when Faril saw him. She slashed him with her sickle before he overpowered her.
So it is you. Shame on you.
The shame is Lorne's, old Myrrh. Now she'll have your death on her conscience, too.
No, Sorcerville. This is you and you alone.
Give my regards to my loving wife and Lorne's degenerate husband.
Lorne?
I know you're watching, Lorne. Now that I've broken your spirit and you've broken your vow, come to the place where my wife is buried. There, I will break your body.
I need some air. I'll be outside. How could he blame me for this? Is it not enough that I lost my husband? Damn him! His wife was buried here. This is where we'll find him. You're sticking by my side, even after I use that death memory ritual. I appreciate that, Admin. Truly. I suppose I owe you a bit of an explanation. I told you how the ghost of the Green killed my husband. Sorville's wife, my husband's lover, was overcome with grief. I think she truly loved him. As soon as she heard the news, she climbed into the wash tub, opened her wrist, and died. Not for that. For what came after. Sorcerer wanted us to mend each other's wounds. Perhaps even fall in love and make a life together. I just couldn't. I focused on the work and pushed him away. He grew detached, bitter. Now I need to stop him. Come, let's put an end to this. Sorville, I know you're here. What do you want from me?
Oh, Lorne, I've already taken so much. Your teacher, your honor, your pride. There's only one thing left for me to take.
Sorville. Don't worry about me. Go. We can't let Sorville escape again.
The ghost of the Green's final victim. Time to die, Admiral.
Sorcerer. Is he... He is. It's done then, isn't it? I knew he wouldn't come quietly. In the end, I bear the blame. A killer. Right beside me, and I didn't see it until more lives were lost. I'm glad you were here, Admin. I will be. The arrow struck near my collarbone. Sorcerer was a gifted marksman. Maybe he couldn't see as well through the mask, or it was nerves. Or maybe he didn't really want me dead after all. Just one more question I'll never have answered. One more thing, if you're willing. I'm certain that Sorcerer never spoke to Kellan's parents, given that this was all his scheme to begin with. They lost their son, and they don't know why. It was you that avenged him. You should tell them that. I just need a moment here alone. Ironic that this came to a head in such a holy place. Maybe I can find some absolution here, or at least some small measure of peace. He did. Perhaps I deserved it. But all those people, an innocent girl, a naive young Mer, a dear friend. They paid the price, while I still live. I don't know if I'll ever make peace with that. You're right, I suppose. I just wish I had been better. A better Jurisreeve, a better wife, a better friend. Maybe I could have prevented all this. I'm sorry. Thank you for your kind words. I will try to take them to heart. You have my word.
I don't. I am sorry. But the prosecution is still examining his body. We will release his remains to you as soon as we can.
You? I remember you. Please, you have to tell me what's going on. My son never came home. And now they tell me they won't even let me see him. What happened to my boy? If for his mercy, how could you? Why didn't you save him? Damn this place! Damn the prosecution! Here, take this thing. I found it under Kellan's bed. I never want to see it again. I never want to see you again. God's help me.
A hard thing to witness. There are rarely any happy endings in this line of work. You just have to remember that things would be much worse had you not been here. That matters.
A newcomer? In the warehouse district? Unusual. But how can I help you today, my friend? The Divine? Who told you that? If Justiciar sent you to try and trick me into confessing... No, no. The High Elves would never send a newcomer to perform such a task. But I admit it. I made my thoughts known. I arranged to bring my cousin here to work with me. The ship arrived, but all the newcomers were carted away. For questioning, they said. I complained to the kin lady and anyone else who would listen. And what has it gotten me? Nothing! Oh, my family has been here for generations and generations. Before the Queen's decree, outsiders might have been rare, but we were not unheard of. Our business has grown and gets better every day. That's why I sent for my cousin. We need the help. Summerset is a rare and beautiful jewel in the Abetian Sea. I love it here. The High Elves treat us like children, but they have never been hostile. The Queen's decree has stirred the waters, though. I fear it will get worse before it gets better.
Why have you closed the monastery?
Good people, I hear your concerns.
But the workers I hired, they were aboard the ship from Rivenspire.
The kin lady and I, we have only your best interests in mind. Every guest must be sequestered while we ascertain their suitability for Ultima society.
The old Dark's right! Lock up the newcomers!
Send the newcomers back where they came from. We don't want them here.
Such anger. Raz never expected to hear such words from the Queen's loyal subjects. The sentiment isn't universal, but enough feel this way for Raz to be concerned. Did you learn anything interesting from the people I sent you to talk to? Sequestered, Just a different word for imprisoned, yes. Ranul's cousin just arrived, but Old Newell's assistant has lived on Summerset since long before the Queen ever issued her decree. What about the lizard? What did Sorcerer have to say? Why would the Aldar gather up newcomers and non-High Elf residents alike and send them to the monastery? Does the King Lady condone this behavior? Raz's head itches, and not in a good way. Our course is clear, Five Claw. We must go to the monastery. Raz admires your enthusiasm, but this one needs you to enter the monastery on your own. Raz has other fish to catch. This one will help you get past the sentry, though. When you notice that the sentry is distracted, just sleep quietly inside.
You there!
Did you see a green light? I have no idea what that was, and I'm not sure I want to know.
Sentry! Raz owes you for that game of cards, and has come to pay.
Well, I don't recall any... You say I won some gold?
Don't you remember? Raz always pays his debts, and he always buys the drinks.
Gold and drinks? Well, my relief should be along soon, so why not?
Oh, not now, please. Your spiritual well-being can wait until after my nap. You'll have to ask one of the monks that the new Aldork brought with him. They deal with all the newcomer testing and evaluations. I'm just a simple monk trying to catch up on my sleep. That was a hint, by the way. Aldork Tilkala arrived right after the Queen issued her decree. He came highly recommended by King Lady Avanice, or so I heard. It's not unusual for monks to form attachments and move together, but there's something strange about that bunch. The Aldorc and his monks keep to themselves. They've taken the Undercroft for their own purposes and ordered the rest of us to avoid the ancient vaults beneath the monastery. Now, please, let me get back to my nap. Again with the questions about the newcomers. Why do you care about the complexities of Altma bureaucracy? Still, if I had to make a guess, I'd say they were taking into the Undercroft for registration and processing. Now go away. The monastery should be a place of peace and meditation. The Aldorc has closed us down until further notice. That means if any of the monks spot you, they'll raise the alarm. Me? I never saw you. Now, if you don't mind, my nap awaits.
Unusual knick-knack for an Aldorc's office, wouldn't you agree? I noticed you skulking around while I was engaged in some skulking of my own. I suppose we both came to the monastery with a similar purpose in mind. The sequestered newcomers. I came to find out what happened to a friend. I assume that's what brought you here as well? A house of worship shouldn't be used as an internment camp. And it shouldn't be locked to the public either. Interesting. I've never seen anything quite like it. I find it intriguing and a bit disturbing. But we aren't here to discuss curios. Strange creatures notwithstanding. We need to find out what's happening with the missing newcomers. The sentry doesn't appear to have stopped you. So I could ask you the same question. Let's just agree that we both have our methods. Curious, but I feel that there's more going on in Shimmerine than the usual politics and community relations. That's the question, my cautious friend. We have a newly appointed Aldorc and a disgruntled kin lady, both opposed to the Queen's decree. What's their connection to the missing newcomers? I was about to explore the Undercroft. Care to join me? A curious pearl. I wonder where the Aldorc acquired it. Probably not important. I'll meet you in the Undercroft, and we can see what's going on with the newcomers.
Are you trying to make me angry? Get out!
Something's wrong down here. I sense magic. Vile magic. Cages? These people did nothing to deserve such treatment. There's someone alive over there. See if you can help her.
Thank the Divines! You aren't one of the monks. Please, let me out of here. It's a nightmare. We came to Summerset to seek new opportunities. We barely stepped off the ship when they marched us to the monastery. Instead of questioning us or the usual high elf bureaucracy, they locked us in these cages. The monks gathered them a few moments ago and took them through the door on the far side of the chamber. Please, let me out of here before they take me away like the others.
Is that a skull?
Oh, thank you for setting me free.
A Daedra? Here? And that's a scoffin, if I remember my Daedric recitations correctly. Very curious. An excellent question, and one I hope to find the answer to. From the evidence before us, it appears this Nord killed the Scoffin before he succumbed to his own wounds. Good for him. I found this key on the creature's belt, so we can open that door. Then I suggest we pick up the pace. We need to determine what's actually happening down here, and who's behind all this. Without answers to those questions, we won't be able to decide on our best course of action. I'll explain everything later. For now, we need to hurry.
Newcomers? Unfortunately, the magic only affects those who have been prepared. But never fear, your turn will come.
Deal with the Pearl. You hold off these creatures. The Pearl's magic attracts these creatures. Hold them off while I complete my spell. Come on, let's talk outside. Those poor people. This wasn't just about newcomers and opposing the Queen's decree. That was Daedric magic back there. I just wish we had arrived a few moments earlier. I promised to explain what I know. I suppose that now's as good a time as any. I'm a member of the Sijic Order. Our Rite Master sent me to investigate a warning we received about a plot involving Summerset. My inquiries led me here. The Psijic Order is an ancient magical monastic society. We served as advisors to the rulers of Tamriel, but that was before we removed our island home from the world. Now this threat has drawn us back. But why are you involved in all of this? An Eye of the Queen? Interesting. I diffused the Daedric magic and transported the pearl to Artaeum, the Psijic island, for safekeeping and study, so we can learn more about it. But we can discuss this further once we get out of here. For a few centuries doesn't prepare you for physical activity. Let the Eye of the Queen know what we discovered, and I'll catch up with you later. We were warned that Daedric princes had their eyes on Summerset, but I didn't expect that level of danger from what was supposed to be a simple investigation. I suggest you tell the Eye of the Queen what we discovered. I'll catch up with you later. We received word that there was the potential for trouble in Summerset, so the Right Master sent me to take a look. Even so, Artaeum isn't a prison. We're Psijic mages. We can come and go as we like, just so long as it advances our studies. A partial truth, easier to remember than an outright lie. Another member of our order came to Summerset a few months back. We haven't heard from him, so I decided to look into both matters while I was here. Unfortunately, he continues to elude me. No, not intentionally. We may be sages, but we're still just people. We can become restless, succumb to sorrow or frustration. My friend may have decided that life on Artaeum was no longer satisfying. I just want to know he's safe.
I suppose the divine prosecution helped you settle into our fair city? Or maybe it was monks at the monastery. I never remember who's dealing with these sorts of things. Your gold is good here. Just don't expect a seat at the table. Or a glass.
Ah, this one's new partner returns. What interesting scandal did you uncover in the monastery? Tell Raz every juicy detail. That isn't the kind of scandal Raz was hoping for. Murder, Daedric rituals, and traitorous behavior have a way of ruining an otherwise perfect day. We need to learn the extent of the Kin Lady's involvement, and by we, Raz means you. Accuse? Not exactly. Raz wants you to talk to her. See what she knows about the Oldar. The Kin Lady is meeting with local leaders. Attend that meeting and learn the truth. This invitation and set of elegant clothes will get you through the door. A Sijik? Raz has heard rumors, but there are always rumors about the Sijiks. For an island of sages who disappeared more than 300 years ago, they certainly seem to get around. Did this Sijik mage say what the Order was investigating? There was a life-sucking pearl. You should probably have led with that bit of information. Well, we can worry about the Sijik mage and figure out where these pearls came from later. For now, go see what the Kin Lady has to say. Kin Lady Avenice and Raz do not get along. You see, there was a horse, a platter of pudding tarts, and... No. This one won't bore you with the sordid details. Besides, everyone behaves well when they see Raz. You will learn more than I would.
I don't know you, and I am not interested in knowing you. Leave me alone.
I heard what you did.
Eyes polished and...
Yes? And who might you be? The Kin Lady is currently engaged. She's holding a conference with Shimmerine's elite to discuss certain political matters. Yes, so you do. And may I say that your outfit is suitably elegant. Please, head into the garden.
We all have concerns regarding the Queen's decree. I assure you that I am working with all Dark Takala to safeguard the sanctity of Shimmerine and all of Summerset. Enjoy the food and drink. Business of the city requires my attention, but I shall rejoin you shortly.
How bold of you. The Neberah dares to stand in my holy presence. Very well, bold Neberah. What can the new Alldark of Shimmerine do for you? And please, try not to bore me or spray any spittle on my spotless vestments. You heard that somewhere, did you? I'll have to have a discussion with the Divine Prosecution about how lax our security has become. No, I jest. The Kin Lady and I have nothing but the best interests of Summerset and the newcomers in mind. You really are well informed about things here in Shimmerin, aren't you? For a Nebera. You're right, where are my manners? Using a word you couldn't possibly be expected to understand, it means unwelcome. As in, you are not welcome here. That's a serious accusation to toss around so casually. What did you say your name was again? I want to make sure to add it to the Divine Prosecution's observation log. For your own protection, you understand. I suddenly remembered some business I need to deal with as well. Feel free to pester the other guests in my absence.
Another newcomer. Ink has barely dried on the Queen's decree, and there are already more of you than I can count. I look forward to hearing how the Kin Lady and New Aldark plan to protect Summerset's interests. Does it? Perhaps. The newcomers are different. They understand neither Altma society nor the rules of protocol and etiquette. Makes my job as an officer of the Divine Prosecution more difficult. I just hope the New Aldark really has a plan. Well, don't really know the New Aldark all that. Wait a moment. I don't know who you are, and I'm not sure I like the tenor of your questions. Perhaps you should move along before I forget this is a social gathering and that I'm not on duty? The Divine Prosecution serves as Summerset's premier law keepers. We enforce secular and religious law, making sure that all social and cultural rules are adhered to. The fact that you didn't know that proves the Aldark's concerns are justified.
How dare you barge into my home without so much as a by your leave? No, I refuse to deal with one of the Queen's guests, especially not in my own home. How did you get in here, by the way? No, never mind that. Since you found your way in, I assume you can find your way back out, before I call the guards. Oh, such innocence. You really want to know why I oppose the Queen's order to allow newcomers to enter Summerset? Because I'm trying to protect both the island and the newcomers. It's in everyone's best interest that we maintain a separation. Aldark Tilkala came highly recommended. He has grand plans for protecting Shimmerine. Grand plans. Unfortunately, in my haste to deal with the Queen's decree, I may have made an error in judgment. Not that it's any concern of yours, but my Chancellor has been unable to verify the Aldark's existence prior to when we met, and I recommended him for the position at the monastery. I assure you, Kin Lord Millenthal praised Tilkala to no end. That's preposterous! Aldark Tilkala sequesters the newcomers to ascertain their suitability for life in Summerset. Those who pass will find a place here. As for the rest, they'll be returned to wherever they came from. That's what we agreed to.
My lady, one of the monks said to deliver this message. It's from the Aldark himself.
The Coral Forest. An odd location for a meeting, but I need to hear the Aldark's explanation.
Pretend you are adjusting your boot, or admiring the architecture. As hard as it may be, look anywhere but directly at Raz. Good, good. Now, tell Raz what you learned at the King Lady's manor. Raz thinks Avanice is as naive as she is complicit, but she's not a murderer. This new Oldark, though, has so much blood on his hands, it looks like he's wearing red gloves. From what I could discover, he didn't exist before he came to Shimmerin. The Coral Forest? A strange meeting place. Raz thinks we should go and see what the Oldark is up to. After I take back that outfit, I might need it again later. Ah, you have a pretty admirer, my friend. The Psijic Sage, yes? Here she comes now.
I'm glad I found you. While watching the King Lady's mansion, I saw her ladyship sneak out the back and leave the city.
The King Lady is meeting the Oldark in the Coral Forest. Raz smells something, and it isn't moon sugar biscuits.
Your reputation precedes you, Eye of the Queen. I am Valcerin of the Psijic Order, and I agree that the Oldark is more than a simple monk.
We should work together, yes? But let's travel separately, to avoid attracting unwanted attention. Raz will find you both at the Coral Forest.
One of Summerset's more unique environments, the Coral Forest. I used to love coming here when I was growing up. We need to find out why the Oldark asked King Lady Avanice to meet him out here. Based on what we saw in the monastery's undercroft, I'm hesitant to use magic to locate them. I suppose we'll have to find them through mundane means. Too bad the Queen's spy isn't here yet. I understand he's good at this sort of thing.
Nebara! Yagra! Destroy these fools!
Razumdar apprehended the kin lady. They're at the west edge of the Coral Forest. What happened to Uldark Tilkalar? Did he escape? I think we can conclude that Tilkalar wasn't actually an Uldark. At least, not with his connection to the Prince of Bargain's Clavicus Vial. Strange magic and creatures worry me, however. Hopefully the pearl I sent to Artaeum can tell us more. You'd be surprised what a particular object can reveal if you know how to unlock its secrets. I need to return and tell Right Master Ikesis all that transpired here. If you're willing, I'd like you to come to Artaeum and confirm my story. The Right Master leads the Psijic Order from Kapora Tower on the island of Artaeum. This spell attunes you to a portal near Shimmerine in the ruins of the Keep of 11 Forces. It always leads to Artaeum, no matter the island's current location. One more adjustment and there! You are now attuned. Find me on Artaeum after you finish with the Eye of the Queen.
Ah, Five Claw. The Kin Lady and Raz had the most illuminating conversation.
You can't treat me like some sort of criminal, you horrid creature.
Queen Irene will be disappointed that the Kin Lady of Shimmerine allowed a false Uldark to murder so many newcomers. Such a scandal makes other travelers uneasy about coming here, yes? The Prince of Bargains. That could only be Clavicus Vial. What oblivion-inspired nest of vipers has Raz stumbled into? This one has a very bad feeling about all of this. Where is the Psijic Sage? Raz would like to ask her what she thinks. The Psijic Order's interest in all of this concerns Razudar. This one has never had much love of magic, or those that practice the art. On the other hand, now Raz has his own person on the inside. An Eye of Raz, if you will, yes? Then you must go to Artaeum and discover what the Psijics have learned. When you return, you can tell Raz all about it so he can pass it along to the Queen. Yes, Raz likes this plan. In the meantime, Raz will investigate the Daedric connection.
Have you come to gloat? To kick me while I wallow in my own misery? Well, go ahead. I deserve it. I met him at Kinlord Millenthal's party in Eleanor. We had similar ideas about the Queen's decree, and I recommended that he lead the monastery. Summerset isn't a stew pot, and the various races aren't ingredients to be sprinkled in like so much spice. What a hateful accusation! Tilkala told me he was going to send them back where they came from. I had no idea he planned to kill them. I give you my word, I just wanted the newcomers to go away. And to find out he worshipped Daedra? How crude. I certainly hope not. We'll have to get the Divine Prosecution in there to gather up the monks Tilkala brought with him to Shimmerine. We can't have Daedric cultists desecrating a holy site. I suppose I need to beg for mercy from the Proxy Queen.